Welcome back to the program. It's time now to get a professional opinion here on Laker Lowdown. I'm joined by voice of the Lakers, Mr. Ryan Maloney, and his color commentary counterpart, Mr. Matt Solomon. Let's go back to this Friday night's game. Tim Potter, he was pulled in the second period he was getting some cramps. Actually, it was in the third period. Correction. What type of a mental adjustment does your team have to make when your starting goalie is pulled in the middle of the game sort of unexpectedly?
Well, I think as for the defense, your job remains the same, and it's
because we're, most likely we'll probably face them in the finals for the SUNYAC.
It's tough to argue that prediction. Plattsburgh and Oswego finished 1-2 in the conference standings last year as well. They wound up squaring.
Coach after the game, I know a lot of them were disappointed in Tim Potter for leaving that game, but according to him, that's a problem he's had his whole career, dating back to Clarkson. He's seen 3 different doctors about it. He doesn't know what causes the cramps, and it was just a case where he felt the cramps coming on. They weren't full-fledged cramps yet, but he thought that the team was better off with the backup Paul Beckwith in net rather than a Tim Potter who was less than 100%.
And not only that, but this is the second time since he's come to Oswego this has happened. First time it happened was the first game he started in the Pathfinder Bank Classic, New Year's weekend. So the defense already knew what to expect with him getting cramp problems. So there were some of the kids that had plus.
A game where he came in, only gave up 2 goals in 2 periods, but it wasn't enough as Geneseo took the win 4-2. So Potter going
was made, however, wasn't enough for the Lakers as they fell to Plattsburgh this Friday. Now, we're going to look ahead to SUNYAC playoffs this weekend. Oswego has drawn Geneseo. They're going to host the game this Saturday, 7 o'clock at the Campus Center Ice Arena. What's the strategy for Oswego to advance through this team and beat the Geneseo Ice Knights?
I don't think the strategy changes at all for Oswego from game to game throughout the season. I mean, they are the more talented team on the ice. I think the only team that you're going to find that's more talented than Oswego that they're going to match up against is Plattsburgh. So I mean, Oswego just needs to do the things that they've been doing all season long. They need to not try to be too fancy with the home run passes. Just get the puck up the ice, get it on net. You look at the first time these two teams met this season, Geneseo came away with the 4-2 victory. That's what everybody remembers. What they fail to realize is that Oswego actually outshot the Ice Knights 33-19. So it's another case of, at that point in the season, the Lakers not really getting beat on the ice. It was just getting out-goaltended.
And not only that, but the second time they met was in Geneseo a couple of weeks ago. Lakers walked out with a 5-0 win, Tim Potter's second career shutout. But there's a major difference between those 2 games, goaltending. You had to deal with Chris Hike, who started the last game in Geneseo, got pulled after the first. Beckwith comes in, lets up 1 goal. Then Geneseo added the empty netter. Fast forward to 2 weeks ago, entered Tim Potter, 5-0 shutout. The offense didn't change. Goaltending did, made a huge difference. It's going to have another impact this Friday.
As mentioned, that game will be played tomorrow night, Friday, at 7 o'clock.
7 o'clock?
Yep. 7 o'clock. Senior night was last Saturday. Oswego playing host to the Potsdam Bears. Kind of had the right night ruined a little bit as Oswego fell. Let's talk about the senior class. There's 13 members of the senior class. Big leadership skills from all of them. How is the leadership of this senior class, probably the largest that the program has seen in recent history, how are they going to carry this team through the playoffs, through Saturday's game, and possibly even further?
One of the nice things about seniors is that you start to see them take on a greater role as the season progresses. They start to get a sense that this is it for them. There's really no use in leaving anything on the ice. Not that they would anyways. But, I mean, this is such a unique situation with this large of a class. You're going to see a lot of guys, as you said, trying to take on leadership roles and making sure that each game isn't going to be the last game of their Laker career. They're at the point now with, after losing 2 games this past weekend, getting 0 points that weekend, they know that if they lose here, the next game they lose will be the last game they lose. There's no chance of earning a pool seed invitation. They need to get that automatic bid and win the SUNY Athletic Championship.
And not only that, but the impact the senior class has had is starting to show on the underclassmen, because Eric Selleck has stepped up his play lately. Getting the same thing out of Brad Dormady and Neil Musselwhite. Their play has gotten better as the season has gone along, and they've stopped relying mostly on the PBR line and the energy line to carry them through games. You've had the
Earth, Wind, and Fire.
All right, the Earth, Wind, and Fire line.
Nobody says energy line anymore. That's so
right.
2 weeks ago.
Well, it's the Earth, Wind. All right, my apologies.
Guy.
It's the Earth, Wind, and Fire line. You've stopped relying on those 2 lines, and you're getting performances from Selleck, Mather, Dormady, Musselwhite. They're starting to step up so that way the senior class doesn't have to carry the load as much.
And you mentioned the Pool C bid a few moments ago. For those of you that don't follow this to the extent that the 3 of us do, Pool C bid is the equivalent of an at-large bid in the March NCAA basketball tournament.
Except on ice.
Except played on ice and with skates, and not as many teams. Puck drops this Saturday at 7 p.m. Mr. Maloney and Mr. Solomon will have coverage on 88.9 WNYO, and you can also listen live at sports.wnyo.org. WTOP will carry the game right here Thanks, guys, for coming in. We're going to toss things back over to Mr. Toper. He's at the desk, and he has your news from around the lake. Toper.